Hey everyone, it's Purple Ninja and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the wacky, weird, and just plain unbelievable laws that exist around the world. You know, those obscure rules that make you scratch your head and say, wait, that's actually a thing? We're talking about laws that are so bizarre, so outlandish, that you'll be left wondering how they ever came to be. From chewing gum bans to toilet flushing curfews, we're uncovering the stories behind these strange regulations. So, buckle up, because things are about to get weird. Let's get started. All right, let's kick things off in Singapore, a nation known for its cleanliness and order. But did you know that chewing gum is actually illegal there? Yeah, you heard that right. In 1992, the Singaporean government decided enough was enough and banned the sale and import of chewing gum. Why, you ask? Well, it all comes down to keeping those streets spotless. See, discarded chewing gum was becoming a real nuisance, sticking to sidewalks, public transportation, and even finding its way onto national monuments. It was a sticky situation, to say the least. The ban, while initially met with some resistance, has been largely successful. Singapore's streets are sparkling clean, and the gum-related woes of the past are just a distant memory. It just goes to show that sometimes a little bit of legal quirkiness can go a long way in maintaining a pristine environment. Next up, we're heading to Switzerland, the land of chocolate, cheese, and toilet flushing curfews? Okay, maybe that last one isn't as well known, but trust me, it's a thing. In Switzerland, some apartment buildings have rules against flushing your toilet after 10 p.m. I know, it sounds crazy, right? But there's actually a method to this apparent madness. The Swiss take their noise pollution very seriously, and the sound of a flushing toilet late at night is considered disruptive to neighbors. So, to maintain peace and quiet during those slumbering hours, toilet flushing is kept to a minimum. Now, I know what you're thinking. What if nature calls in the middle of the night? Well, you've got options. Some folks just hold it, not recommended, while others opt for a more discreet approach, like using a bucket of water for a quieter flush. It's all about being considerate of your fellow neighbors and their sleep schedules. The Italian towns, where death takes a vacation. Okay, this next one is a bit morbid, but bear with me. In Italy, there are a handful of towns where it's technically illegal to die. Yes, you read that correctly. Dying is frowned upon in these particular locales. But don't worry, it's not as grim as it sounds. The reasoning behind this unusual law is actually quite practical. You see, these towns are facing a dwindling population, and with fewer residents comes a decline in essential services. So, to encourage people to stick around, both literally and figuratively, the local governments implemented these tongue-in-cheek laws as a way to draw attention to the issue. Of course, no one is actually prosecuted for kicking the bucket in these towns. It's more of a symbolic gesture, a way to highlight the importance of maintaining a vibrant community. Australia's pink pants predicament. Now let's hop over to Australia, where things are about to get colorful, or rather, less colorful. It turns out that in the state of Victoria, wearing hot pink pants after midday on Sundays is strictly prohibited. This law, dating back to the 1930s, is a real head-scratcher. No one seems to know for sure why this particular shade of pink was singled out, or why Sunday afternoons were deemed off-limits. Some theories suggest it was a way to curb public indecency, as hot pink was considered a rather flamboyant color back in the day. Others believe it might have been a way to target a specific group or subculture. Whatever the reason, this law remains on the books, although it's rarely, if ever, enforced. So, if you're ever in Victoria on a Sunday afternoon, maybe save the hot pink pants for another day. The UK's salmon suspicion saga. And finally, we wrap up our journey through legal weirdness in the United Kingdom, where things take a rather fishy turn. In the UK, it's illegal to handle a salmon in suspicious circumstances. I know, it sounds utterly ridiculous, but this law is very much real. It all stems from the Salmon Act of 1986, which was designed to protect salmon populations from poaching. Now, The suspicious circumstances part is where things get a bit hazy. Basically, it gives law enforcement the authority to question anyone caught with a salmon if they suspect it was obtained illegally. So, if you're ever strolling through the UK with a salmon tucked under your arm, make sure you have a valid fishing license and a believable explanation ready. Otherwise, you might find yourself in a bit of a pickle. Stay curious, stay weird. Well, there you have it, folks. 5 of the weirdest laws from around the world. From chewing gum bans to toilet flushing curfews, these bizarre regulations offer a glimpse into the diverse and sometimes quirky nature of legal systems around the globe. It just goes to show that no matter where you go, there's always something new and unexpected to discover. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the world of legal oddities. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more mind-blowing content. Until next time, stay curious.